Appreciate everybody taking the time to be here today and the change. I just been a tough morning. Bison Nation lost a true fan. Just came from the funeral of Sandy Matthew, Prakash Matthew's wife. And I got to know when I got hired by Gene Taylor. 4 months later, he says he's leaving, and then there was a quick transition. They brought in Prakash, and it couldn't have really gone any better for me as a young coach, and just really eased my transition. And him and Sandy are two of the kindest, sweetest people, and the word servant leadership is valued so much within our program, and those two really exemplified it. And there's no question Sandy's got a special place in heaven, and but make no mistake, it's a tough day, and as much as we love Prakash, it's tough to see him and his family like that. But we're here to, as much as he's done for us, now it's our turn to turn around and support him and Trevor and Chris and their boys and their family. For us, obviously, last week was a tough week. I've said all along that there was a fine line with this group, and there was a fine line because of the parity within the Summit League. We went into IUPUI last Wednesday, and you had a desperate team searching for a win on their home court, and a guy like Evan Hall doesn't play for them, and so everybody else ratchets it up their play. I think they played extremely well. We obviously didn't play our best game. Comes a possession game here or there, goes to overtime, and you get beat. So happens life on the road, and you turn around and you had some things. Thought we had some things figured out a little bit on Thursday, and just moving in the right direction. For whatever reason, we did not have a very good practice at all on Friday, and I really think part of it was our guys were excited. And we're just looking forward to competing on Saturday afternoon. And you can't, when there's such a fine line between some of the inexperiences on our group and the parity within the league, you can't miss an opportunity to get better. And we missed an opportunity Friday to get better, and I thought that carried over, on Saturday a little bit. Credit our guys. I thought we responded a little bit out of halftime. But I also think we expended a lot of energy. I got asked the question, what was the turning point and what caused the run to stop in the second half? I thought that we have a bunch of guys that want to win really, really bad. I think it's my job as a coach to help them understand the winning plays that they need to consistently make for us to continue to be successful. And with us and the culture things that we do, doing all the little things really matter a great deal, and we got to continue to get back to that, and that'll start today. I'll take questions.
What's the number one thing you got to get back this week after that tough week?
I'm going to sound like a broken record, but really defending, rebounding, and taking care of the ball. They held us. There was a stretch. I thought we got a little impatient offensively, took some bad shots. To me, that's going to happen. You go back and look at when we've been successful, holding teams around that 40% mark, and USD comes in here and shoots 50. We got to keep getting better defensively. As much as I think we have and have proven that we can be better offensively, our identity is still getting better defensively, and we just – again, I think it's a product of how we're defending. We're not rebounding the basketball anywhere near the level we need to be successful.
Coach, after two losses, do you start thinking about making some changes in the lineup or anything like that? Do you think that'll come this week or no?
Not at all, no. I think we've proven, and we still have a half-game lead in this league. And the last thing I want to do or sense to our guys is panic. I think that we understand, and we've understood all along, even when we were 7-1, how many of those games came down to a possession here or possession there. It's a matter of just those guys that have been successful for us continuing to do those little things that have made us successful.
I understand you never want to lose, obviously. Can it be a good thing? Can it force you to reevaluate and refocus?
We're about to find those things out, Mike, and but we'll certainly see. I think, I'd still rather teach and learn off of wins, and I think there's a great way to do that. But I also think that there's some guys that are gonna be more locked in for whatever reason, and we're gonna find out again the next couple of days, because you turn around Wednesday and you got a South Dakota State team it's really kind of figured some things out to their credit, and strung together a couple in a row, 3 out of 4, and playing as well as anybody.
You mentioned one of the shortcomings of this team is inability to play a complete 40 minutes. How much of that is mental?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is mental, physical. Are we playing too many guys here and there? But I think it's as much as a toughness thing or a physical thing. Some of our best basketball has been in the second half. So I do think it's just an understanding of the fine line that you need to be locked in and ready to go with. And in certain games, we've been able to overcome slow starts. When you play one of the better teams, as we did in USD, or you play on the road against an opponent that's really desperate and searching for things, you don't have a lot of that room for error, and we've got to understand that urgency from start to finish.
Fair to say your last two games defensively came out slow, I think, at IUPUI, and then USD shoots pretty well first.
Yeah, I thought we came in and we were like. We were up 19-14, and I think there was 14 possessions, so that's right around where we want to be. And then it's just one little thing is kind of compounding into another, whether we're getting impatient offensively and now they're getting out on us in transition, or we're just locked in for 20 seconds of a possession. They shoot when we don't get a rebound. Those things are just kind of escalate and piggyback against good teams.
Similar between IUPUI and USD was your team came out shooting really hot from beyond the arc and then really cooled off. Do you think that's kind of plagued them, that they've become a little too reliant on the three-pointer?
I wouldn't say it's reliant. You go back and look at the types of shots they were. Paul's first one is an offensive rebound kickout. It's an inside-out one. Paul's one a little bit later is an inside-out pass shot. Those are good quality shots. I think we've got to continue to understand, to trust the pass, play inside out. A lot of teams across the country are good defensively for 10 or 15 seconds, and when you don't allow them some time to make mistakes. So when we're playing sometimes too fast or taking rush shots that might be good shots, if we were a little bit more patient in a sense, or we were playing a little bit more inside out, or we were making that extra pass, I think there's some better opportunities for us on the back end of that shot clock.
You don't like you're in the pennant race here? I mean, you're obviously in it, but do you guys feel it?
That's an interesting question. That's really we've changed our mindset. We've removed the standings board from our locker room, and we are literally going day to day, and that's going to be our focus. You go back to when I first got the job, and we got smacked at Texas, and we got smacked at Iowa. I addressed the team that we're just going to get better every day, and whether that getting better is a practice or that better is getting better in a game, that is completely our mindset, and we'll pick our head up. At the end of the season as we're going into the Summer League tournament.
Standings board, what is that?
We just have, where's everybody's their record, where they're, you have movable markers and or magnets, and you can move this guy, and this team there, this team around, and it's got their records. And, again, none of that really matters. All that matters is us.
Where would you say Dane Goo's development is right now?
Where would I say? His minutes sometimes don't show it, but we've made some adjustments in what he's doing on some ball screen stuff, and he's making some strides in practice. He really is. Now it's just that next step is when the lights come on, and I think it's as much as him, it's me really how do I say, really tightening up, his role and making sure that he understands specifically what he's responsible for or what he's doing out there.
Too long ago that you were a first-year head coach in this league. Do you think some of that happened with SDSU, kind of trying to figure things out, and now they've kind of caught a little bit of fire here lately?
I certainly think that's part of it, and you credit TJ. He's done a good job with that. Also, he's coming into a new culture too, and there was some new parts and understanding how they fit within his system. Yeah, I think that's all part of it.
How about the way they're playing right now? I mean, is this a team that you don't want to face a team that's hot, but given the circumstances, is this a nice way that you guys can kind of get right back on track, beat one of the up-and-coming teams in the league?
Yeah, whether that's Western Illinois, Omaha, South Dakota, Fort Wayne, whoever it is on Wednesday, it's South Dakota State. It's about us, and that's where our sole focus is about, getting better today, tomorrow, and competing to get better on Wednesday night.
All been tight games, but in that second round of the conference now, starting to see teams again, are you seeing kind of different teams than what you saw in the beginning? Have they all changed a little bit, developed a little bit now that you've seen two, you're preparing for one here?
Yeah, I think the team that we're preparing for has probably changed the most in the sense of who they're playing, their personnel, how they're playing now defensively. Now you're seeing primarily man, where all we saw before was all zone. And again, I think what happens as you go through and you're 7-1 and sole possession by a couple games, the target becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And I really enjoy that, to be honest with you, because I think if we're ultimately going to get to where we want to be, it's not winning a game or winning a week. It's about preparing to win a championship, and to be the best, you got to sometimes take best people's best punches, so to speak. And I think as we do those things, it can really prepare us for where we want to be here and making those 3 games in early March.
What kind of problem does Dom present for you?
All kinds, He rebounds at a high level. He understands. He got a tremendous feel. And I haven't even touched on how he scores the ball. 38, 40. He's shooting it really well from 3 right now. He can post you up, go over left shoulder, right shoulder. He's an opponent coach's nightmare.